All right.
So we're not live yet.
No,
Now we are.
it is now. Yep.
Uh,
And there's.
I know how to see buttons and stuff. Welcome, friends, to another episode of Tales from the Barside. I'm Remy. This is Lauren. It's our good friend Jack.
Hi.
What's going on, y'all? Sorry we missed you all last week. I know both of you were devastated when there was no new Tales from the Barside episode. But
all three of you.
We are back with a vengeance. We're ready. We were getting our shit together, man. We were lining up some guests and getting ready to talk about some stuff and have some fun. And we're still not bartending.
Still not bartending.
So we were just talking about how it's been 6 months since the shutdown. Like next week, it'll be 6 months since everything closed down and our lives changed forever. And, you know, we knew about the virus for a minute beforehand, but it was like, yep, it's really happening. It's really spreading everywhere. Like no more bars and restaurants for a while. And Lauren and I have not been back to bartending since.
Nope, not one night.
Not one night. And it sucks because we do a podcast about bartending and we're not bartending. And
it makes it really hard to come up with stuff to talk about.
Exactly. In order to keep it fresh and fun and cool for you, we'd really love for people to write us their stories, what's been going on. You can tell us a COVID story if you're back behind the bars, or an old story before the pandemic hit, whatever you want to talk about. But send us an email, please. We would love to hear some stories from you guys and read your stories on the air and have some fun with that. So, podcast tales, no. Barside tales.
BarsideTales@gmail.com.
You can tell who set it up and who didn't. Lauren set it up, so.
Well, Tales from the Barside was already taken at
Somebody
gmail.com.
else thought it was a great idea too, and kudos to them, man. I wish them well. It's not a competition. It's not a race. Jack, what you been up to, buddy?
You know, I'm concerned. I'm more not concerned more as I am disappointed that with everyone having to wear a mask, that there haven't been more masquerade parties available. You know what I mean?
Real.
You would think it would be like, oh, finally, our time is here.
Yeah.
But not one that I know of.
All my goth kids are loving it, actually. They've been wearing masks since forever, so they're having a great time. Gas masks have always been a thing.
Since the beginning, I've had absolutely no problem with wearing a mask. I was like, oh, we're all wearing masks now? Cool. So I got a handful of ones that are like washable and show some of my favorite stuff on them. And I'm like, yep, this is cool. Like there was a local lady who did a Scottish one for me. So it's got my my kilt tartan across my face, a little strip. That's a fun one. But yeah, the mask thing, it's like, I just wear a mask now. I'm down with it. Let's have parties with masks on. It's great.
My good friend Becky got me a Sailor Moon mask, so I was really excited about that. But, you know, all dressed up and nowhere to go.
Yeah, as far as our scenes are going, I see that there are places open, but I tell you what, you know, even living in a downtown area, for a Saturday night, it looks like a ghost town.
Yeah, it's not the same as it was.
I noticed that, like, a bunch of the bars that were open this entire time weren't open on Saturday night.
Yeah, nobody's killing it. Nobody's packing them in. That's not happening. Our entire industry's been decimated, and the ones that were lucky enough to kind of just hang on through this and keep going, like kudos to you. And I get it. You know, you got to just scrape and fight for claw for survival kind of thing. But yeah, it's not the same. There's nobody going out and getting wild on Friday and Saturday nights like they used to be. It's a weird summer for sure.
Well, especially summertime too. I've noticed like a lot of complaints is that there's not doing concerts anymore. I know a lot of people look forward to their music venues and that. I will say there's been like some new ideas like drive-through concerts and things like that, but the money it costs to organize them and then for it to become a thing, you know what I mean? I can see that not staying a thing.
Well, that dude that I fucking love, Mark Ribboldt or whatever his name is, I think it's Ribboldt, but he does like these amazing, hilarious, impromptu, you know, things. And he did like a drive-ins. So he had an entire like concert tour where he would play at drive-ins, like drive-in movie theaters. And that was kind of cool. I wanted to go see him, but the closest one was in Chicago. And I was like, I'm not driving out to fucking Chicago to go sit in my car.
Yeah, if he would have come to the Ford, Wyoming, like that would have been something different.
Absolutely, I would have been there. For
Who's
sure.
Who's been to Fort Wyoming a bunch of times?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, I love that place. I was actually really disappointed when they were like shut down for it. I was like, you're shut down even though you're in your car? Like,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
and then they even like went through a bunch of shit to like clean and make sure everything was going to be like set up for everyone, and they opened for one night and got shut down again. I think they're open now finally, but you never know. I'm gonna have to go check them out
I am too. Let's find a movie to go watch. I'm down.
for sure. I would love to. But yeah, other than that, like I've noticed that, you know, all the bars that have been open, like Orchid is a nightclub that they have like this giant patio. So they've been able to be open just on the patio. And I went there a couple of times, I think like once or twice now. And he and I went one time and it was like maybe 7 people there, including their staff.
Right.
With
So-
no dance floor. So.
Right. Part of the reason why my club can't open, because we're not allowed to have dancing. So
Right. Well, and that's the whole point of your club, is to go and dance. And maybe not everybody dances, but a lot of people go to dance.
I mean, people are going to like either dance or like mingle with other people and stuff. So it's hard to like decide whether or not it's safe. And then even when we do decide to open, it's like, how are we going to do that and
Yeah.
keep us safe too? And
No, yeah, honestly, like a place like that, it just seems like they have to wait until the pandemic is over, until
Yeah.
it's snuffed out.
if they
and
make
people are
it,
running
if
around
they
with
make it through that,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
insane.
time.
it. All right, you
I
want to
did-
talk about
It
some
does
more
make
bad news?
sense though.
yeah, definitely. Like as far as safety goes, it
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
That'd be like a hotbed, you know, everybody's sweating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it just makes sense that it's not going to work out yet. So, have you guys noticed the bees are just like disrespectful as hell this year? Bees just like flying in your face. They're everywhere. They're
It is
like,
that time of year.
I know it's that time of
As
year.
you get
but this
past
year-
Labor Day, it's the swarm season. Don't walk near a juniper bush; they'll get you.
It is nuts, man. They're being so rude about it. It's like, just get out of my face. Like, I don't have anything for you, bro. I'm all
Okay,
about
they're
saving
saying-
the bees.
That there's like, you know, a short, like there's a, not a shortage, that's not the right word, but there's like a very few bumblebees, but there's a fuck ton of wasps. I'll tell you that much. There's yellow jackets and wasps, and they're all having a great time. Where are my bumblebees at? Where's my little helpful guys?
Right?
Where's my fuzzy dudes? I want them.
Well, I haven't seen the fuzzy ones, but the little, they're called yellow jackets, but they're not like the murderous hornet type. They're just like regular, you know, your common everyday bee that you see all the time. But yeah, they've just been nuts lately, man. Just getting at my work, they're like, they fly, because we have the door open, and bees flying in. I was at a small get-together outdoor backyard pool party last week, and there was tons of bees in the backyard. And then today, out on like my porch where I hang out and sit outside enjoying this nice weather, it's just like, bee right in my face, leave me alone. So I guess I was feeling bad about being mad at the bees. I'm like, they're just trying to live their life. But I don't know why they have to be so disrespectful. But we're gonna do our
Can't
little
have jungle
segment.
juice party after Labor Day because once
You can't
the
do
swarm
that, no.
starts, not only are they attracted to the fruit, but now they're getting drunk. You know, they're belligerent. You know,
You gotta get all the syrups and sweet stuff. Yeah, the things they get drunk off of is no good. Like, nobody wants to fight a drunk bee, man.
no,
Not
who
fun.
needs it? Who needs it?
Phil
So
said
that's
they
good.
smell the alcohol coming off of us, and it's true. They're probably just like, I want to party too.
Yeah, man. Like, you smell good. Can I get some
The
of
other
that?
night, I walked outside. I had my wine glass. As soon as I walked out, I watched a fruit fly go directly into my glass. And like,
Just dive
obviously it
out.
was still alive. So I like picked it up and like let it go. And I was like, that dude's probably wasted. You know, like they're so
Good luck.
tiny. I was like, he's just treading wine the entire time. He is just like,
Just go for a quick dip in the pool, and he comes out just like, what the fuck happened to me, man? I'm hammered. All his fruit fly buddies are like, dude, you were wasted last night.
Speaking of fruit flies and bars, I found a spot that I hadn't normally gone to, and I mean, I don't think there's too many regular listeners that would know, but I personally, I love my like neighborhood bars and dive bars, and I found a little one in Hazel Park. I'm not going to say which one, but I walked in there and I sat down, and it was like a swarm, like constant of like fruit flies and little miniature flies, and
Yeah.
like, you know, I love that small appeal, but it's like if you're not cleaning or taking care of it, Like I ordered a green tea, and I literally like 3 fruit flies were around the rim of the
No. I'm not hanging out at a place like that. If you can't, you have to at least do your best to control them. Every bar is going to have some sort of fruit fly problem. Like it
exists.
just depends on how bad. Like it's just, I've worked at so many bars. Like I don't think I've ever been in a bar that didn't have that. I never saw a single fruit fly. Like you're just going to see them. But if it's bad, and they start,
you can tell they weren't doing anything.
You're not doing your shit. You're not cleaning up well enough. Like
they might as well have put a fruit fly sign on the door, like "Welcome to the swarm." It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
That's gross. They got somebody, a health inspector's got to come in.
That. And like when I first started working there, like it was kind of bad, and then within a couple of weeks it got really bad. Mm-hmm. And we looked we were seriously taking apart the entire bar, bleaching everything, sanitizing everything. We could not find them. Finally, we found out that whoever had like bought the bar before us or owned the bar before us had like built the bar around a drain, and it was like covering the drain, and it was just stagnant water in there.
Yep.
And so they were like behind the bar, you couldn't get to them, so they had to pull out the bar to actually like find the drain, get to it, destroy them, like
steal it off. Yep.
But we were sitting there with like, one of those like tennis like rackets, but it's actually like the electrified
boys?
The electrified ones.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there like swatting them away, and there's like people with their drinks and their food right there, and I'm just like, hold on one second, like you'd hear like
awful.
15 of them die at once.
They're
like
real classy there.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Have you tried the caviar tonight, sir? Another shrimp cocktail, madam.
It took us a while to figure out where it was coming from, but they did fix it.
Well, and that, let that be a lesson to you. If you end up buying a bar and you want to change shit around, you got to take care of stuff like that. You can't just like build a bar over a drain and let some stagnant water be a breeding ground for nasties. Ugh.
Well, that's another thing too. It's like, it's not like I'm at someone's house I've never met and I don't want to be rude and be like, hey, throw those bananas away. You got a swarm in your house.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a place of business. You're doing this for a living, and I don't know,
figure it out.
Or vinegar, something. Do something.
Do something.
Oh yeah, I've worked at places where like it would get a little bit bad, and then we'd make the little homemade traps, with some like grenadine and whiskey or maybe some sweet stuff, and that worked pretty well. You find a bottle that's got a fruit fly in it, and you're like, oh, they like this. Pour a little bit of it in a cup and put some Saran wrap over it.
Yeah, until you pour someone a fucking $40 shot of something really expensive and it has a fruit fly in it, and they're like, oh, here, let me pour you another one, and then 3 more fruit flies come out. It's like, just throw the bottle, because I know some places will just take the bottle in the back and strain it, and it's like,
no, not allowed.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You got to just get rid of the fucking bottle. Sorry, eat the cost.
Right, you don't know what's in there.
Like, Dixie cups don't cost that much, covering your stuff at night, making sure they don't, you know what I mean? It's like,
well, and the other thing is, I've been to some places where the bottles weren't wiped down, that the ones that aren't in the well getting used, the ones that are behind you, and that's a problem, because what you do when you wipe down the bottles that are on the back bar is you're looking for fruit flies too when you do that. So if you find one, you can get rid of the bottle, replace it. But yeah, dude, it's just common sense to keep those good caps on your pour spouts. As a matter of fact, I like places where the back bar doesn't have pour spouts on them. You have to pull the cork and whatever it is. That solves your problem right there. Use the pour spouts for the stuff that you go through fast and your speed well, but stuff that doesn't get used all the time, stuff on the back bar, why put a pour spout in it? It's unnecessary.
Especially if it's some kind of like cordial that has like a lot of sugar in it or something, like Hennessy, or not Hennessy, Hypnotic,
Midori,
X-rated, all of
those
stuff, like Midori, like just keep it on there.
Any of the rums, it's like, spiced rums and sweet rum. That's all sugared. Like, you don't want that. Don't want it at all. All right, so we had an idea. We're going to do a little cocktail or shot recipe of the week.
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of freshen things up a bit and have like a little segment in case anybody cares to try out some of our favorite drinks, some of our favorite shots. So with the bees being such a problem, I learned a cool drink this past year called the bee's knees. Some lady came in and was like, you know how to make a bee's knees? I was like, Sure don't, but I'll find out for you real quick. She's like, oh, it's real easy. It's just gin, lemon juice, and honey. Simple, refreshing, delicious.
Like
Serve it in a little
real
martini
honey,
glass.
or can it be like that
real honey?
syrup stuff?
No, real honey. Just, just a plain old like thing of honey. Hopefully you work at a restaurant that serves tea, and so you can get some honey or whatever, or just keep some honey on hand. These are drinks that you should make at home. It's like we're not talking about going out anymore. So get yourself some gin. And a lot of people don't like gin, but I'm telling you, if you don't like gin, try this drink. It's really, really good. Lemon juice and honey and some gin. So you're going to use like 2 ounces of gin, 3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice. And that's important too. Like, don't just go get real lemon, the like fake brand stuff at the store. Like, get yourself a couple of lemons and squeeze them into a measuring cup. It doesn't take that long. It's not that hard. Get some fresh lemon juice, 3/4 ounces, and then 1/2 ounce of honey. And garnish it with a lemon twist. Shake it up, serve it like a martini, serve it in a little coupe glass, or do it on the rocks, I suppose, if you want to. Delicious.
It sounds delicious.
It sounds like a summer version of a toddy, almost. You know what I mean? With the lemon and but it's got more of a crisp.
Lemon and the honey.
But do you still taste the pine when you do it? I've never had one. Is it?
What the honey and the citrus definitely dulls down the what people don't like about gin being all that juniper flavor, but
yeah,
I like it, and I've always like had a fondness for gin drinks, but it definitely cuts down on that flavor and adds that sweet and the sour to it. It's nice.
I can agree with you on that in the citrus though, because the only way I've ever really been able to drink gin and like it, is I did it on accident with just whatever I had to mix, and I love grapefruit juice, but a lot of people don't like that either because it's bitter. And then gin is, but I had gin and grape, and I mixed those together. It cuts the pine flavor out of the gin. It cuts the bitterness out of it makes it like a sweet. Snoop Dogg had it right, gin and juice.
Gin and juice.
Gin and juice,
But instead of orange juice, use grapefruit juice. No, I'm with you. I can drink white grapefruit juice like
Isn't it called a
all day long.
Greyhound?
Good stuff.
That's something.
Greyhound is usually vodka and grapefruit juice, but you can substitute gin for it.
Gin and juice is grapefruit juice, though.
Vodka and grapefruit's also good.
But I always drink my gin, like I don't like every gin. I kind of am more of like a Hendrix person, but I always do mine with lemonade every time.
Yeah, gin and lemonade.
So delicious.
Yep. So just add some honey to it.
Love
Basically.
it. Kind of want that.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. It's like but you definitely get that flavor of the honey as opposed to like, and who knows what kind of lemonade they're using. Like if it's a fresh homemade lemonade, that's one thing. But if it's like lemonade out of a gun, it just has that kind of boxed syrup flavor to it.
Lemon flavored sugar water.
Yeah.
The way I like it.
How about you, Lo? You got a good shot or a drink for us?
You know what? I really didn't like have one offhand that we could do because I kind of got your message very late. But I will say that I do love I have to like look up the actual. Hold up,
wait. Just pretend we're like a bunch of girls on a bachelorette party. And we're like, make us your favorite shot. Like, we want to get fucked up, and we don't care what it is. Just make us anything, girl.
I really like French 75s.
Yeah.
I have only ever made a very few of them. So now I'm looking up the actual cocktail. But it is, it's gin, simple syrup, lemon juice, and champagne. But the way that I made mine, and the guy that taught me how to make them, instead of simple syrup, he would put powdered sugar in it.
Okay.
It was so fucking good. I'm trying to think of what the percentages of that would be, how much it would be. But that's the idea, is that.
When I learned how to bartend, I was self-taught, obviously. Like, just I drank a lot and hung out at parties, and like I built my own bar basically. Like I had a bar in my apartment, and so I'd go out shopping and like, all right, let me check out some drinks, let me see what I can make and figure stuff out. But it was all about. I lost my train of thought.
I have no idea what that's like.
Right. Building your own bar. I
I've never
knew
just
you'd
walked.
come in and
I've
say
never
that.
just walked into a liquor store and just randomly bought things. Never.
Yeah.
Once.
You're
Never.
just like, I want a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and
All right, I
experimenting.
found it.
I remember what I was
Anything
going to say
100
though. I do it like cooking. Like cooking, I don't measure spices when I'm
Nope.
cooking.
Pinch,
I like
dash. Yeah.
I pinch in this, and I go by look. I taste it. I go by smell. I'm like, yeah, I know how much to put in. Okay.
Okay, so the ingredients are: it's 1.5 ounces of gin, 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice, and then 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. But like I said, I do the powdered sugar, so I just do like a teaspoon of that, and then 2 to 3 ounces of chilled champagne, just right on the top after you shake it. Just kind of put it over there, and a lemon peel for garnish. And it is fucking delicious. And I think, Remy, you and I went out one time. I think we went to like Bobcat Bonnie's or something, and they had their version, and it was like a pomegranate one or something, and it was really good. But the original is my jam. Whenever somebody can make a really good French 75, I am all about it. But a lot of people don't know how to make it. It's not being made at, restaurants and stuff anymore.
I do remember that. That was when we first started the show, and we were going to like take notes and talk about what we were doing and stuff. Like, we were such podcast babies back then.
I loved it. I thought it was really delicious.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was called, but it was very similar. A French 75, yes.
A French 75.
Mm-hmm.
They had them at the bar that I was going to work at a month or so ago. When I got hired and I did one day of training, and I was like, no. I'm not working indoors during COVID for customers coming in and taking off their masks. And no, sorry.
Nope.
Sorry.
I like the way that DSC has done it so far, where I mean, basically that the big indoor bar is closed,
right.
And only like the staff can get to it to like get drink orders and that kind of stuff from there.
Yeah.
The outdoor bar people can walk up to, but it's really divided out and spaced out and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty decent.
Well, and here's the thing: do they make them wear masks when they come up to order?
Oh yeah, if you're not sitting down,
See?
you are absolutely wearing a mask. Yeah.
That's the whole point. This was a bar where people would come in, sit at your bar. They removed half the chairs, so you had half the customers to wait on. But they'd come in, sit down, immediately take off their mask the whole time, talking.
Because you're allowed to. I mean,
exactly, and ordering drinks and ordering food. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
If I work at a bar, this is not the kind of bar I'm going to work at. I'm sorry.
That's one of those. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
so Dave, do you want to say your favorite recipe?
Oh yeah, give us a good drink recipe, Dave.
Let's see. Go to party martini, because I just got asked for those the other day. So I take a martini glass, throw like some Hershey's chocolate syrup all through it, and then like Remy. So I'm like pinch dash this that. It's Bailey's chocolate cherry, vanilla Godiva, chocolate Godiva, and then top it with Chambord. And chill the shit out of it with a shaker tin, drop that in the martini, and it's just a nice chocolate covered cherry martini with like a little raspberry undertone to it.
Sounds like a good dessert.
Yeah, and it's a little after dinner cocktail.
Yep. I can dig that, sir. That sounds delicious. I used to love making chocolate martinis at bars. You've got especially if you have a good little squeeze bottle for the chocolate syrup where you can make nice thin lines. And the secret to that, kids, is to have a chilled martini glass. If it's nice and cold, then that chocolate will just kind of hang on there.
It won't run. Yep.
You're shaking it up, and then you pour it, and you got your nice little swirls on the inside of the glass. Don't thank us too much for teaching you all kinds of little tricks and tips about bartending. All right.
Tricks of the trade, exactly.
Yeah, we're spilling all our guts, spilling all the secrets.
That actually sounds like it would kind of taste like nuts and berries, which is. So it's like vodka, frangelico, Chambord, and cream. But I always do like a flavored vodka. So like not like cherry or anything like that, but I'll do like the chocolate flavored or like something like that. And sometimes I'll switch out the cream for like Godiva or Bailey's, like just to give it a little extra kick. My cousins and I, my cousins Christine and Lindsay, we had a pool party a couple weeks ago. And we drank a lot of wine and a lot of beer. And we were running out of stuff to drink. And so we drunkenly decided to get all the stuff to make White Russians. And none of us remember like going to bed. None of us remember like, you know, okay, good night, whatever. All I know is that we got into like a heated discussion. And then suddenly I woke up the next day and I was like, I will never drink a White Russian again. Oh my God.
See,
Never again.
I love a White Russian.
I love
my
White
God.
Russians, but not after like a box of fucking wine and a bunch of beer.
That's an after dinner or a starter drink.
Right.
What I found in the White Russian to avoid it, when I went out east, they don't use half and half in the Russian. They just use regular milk.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, I don't know if I can get behind it.
I like that.
So I subbed it out for chata. And
Delicious.
Made it a 3-part, and it tastes like Christmas and Nesquik all wrapped in one.
So here's what I do with mine. I was at a bar one time with my buddy, the Detroiter downtown. Everybody should be familiar with the Detroiter. If you've never been to Malacca's bar downtown, that's a fantastic spot. But we're sitting there and we were drinking White Russians and we go, hey, do you have any chocolate milk? And she's like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. It's like White Russian with chocolate milk. And
Sounds
it was
delicious.
Fantastic. Mind-blowing.
I would drink that for sure.
Oh, it's so good.
It actually reminds me of a shot that we do in my family. We call it a Gillingham after my grandmother, but it was basically just like I say, we like the Russians, but we were just working with whatever was on the leftover liquor cabinet type of deal.
Yep.
And so it was why can't I think of the coffee liqueur? Kahlua, thank you. Almost said Kamchatka. Kahlua, and then Bailey's, and then we used vanilla caramel as a 3-parter. And it's very similar to like a White Russian and all that, but it tastes like Christmas. You can only have a few of them because it is very syrupy.
Oh yeah.
But they're delicious.
You said
pour it over ice cream.
You said Kamchatka though. I know you played Risk as a kid.
You caught me.
Yeah.
You caught me you caught me.
Either Risk or a huge X-Files fan, one of the two. Yeah.
Yeah.
You caught me. You got me. Yeah, no, but
you don't forget that name easily. That sounds delicious, man. Oh, so we ran the gamut tonight. We've got a couple of gin drinks from Remy and Lowe. We got a couple of fancy cream-based cocktails, martinis.
I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the gin drinks because I just went out and picked up. I've got 3 new gins that I got to try.
Oh, heck yeah!
I'm trying.
Actually,
like gin is the alcohol that always makes me see vapor trails, and
Right.
so I'm always like really hesitant about it. But I want to be a gin drinker because I feel like I've run like the Scotch bourbon thing. Like, okay, I got that. Like I know what I'm doing there. Like that's no big deal. So now it's time to focus in on the gin genre and see what I can do there.
that's the thing is actually Bill said, because I was saying that I really like Hendrix,
Yep.
and he said that he has a friend that swears that Botanist is better. And actually, I will say that my sister's husband, Aaron, he also swears by Botanist. And I've only had it once before, and it was already mixed in a drink. So I kind of want to give it another try because that's the second person to say that it's better than Hendrix.
So like the 2 best gins that I've had, and I'm sad because I don't think one is being made anymore. I think the Harson's Island Distillery shut down. But Harson's Island Distillery had a phenomenal gin that I actually still have a bottle stashed here and a half a bottle in the DSC studio. That's really, really good. And then Valentine, like their barrel-aged Liberator is outstanding.
Yeah, I think I've only had the Valentine one a couple of times. There was a bar that I worked at where we carried Valentine, and then eventually they got rid of all of them except for the white
Blossom
or whatever.
Blossom. Yeah.
And I do not like that one. Because you know what though? To me, anything that's like floral, or especially in like alcohol, whenever it's like pear flavored, it always comes across as being like kind of like floral tasting to me. And to me, it tastes the way that a funeral home smells. And I'm like, I can't.
Now see, that's usually gin for me. It's that that's usually what catches me when I have a gin drink, or if I unstop a bottle of gin. It's that.
It's like flowers and formaldehyde.
Like grandma's house and funeral homes. Yeah. That. Yeah.
Nope. Don't like it.
Vodka hits you here, but gin hits you right up here.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Especially if you have like a really good quality gin, then, you'll get those really nice notes. But if you have like a shit, just like bullshit gin, and it's like you can smell it a mile away, and it tastes like I'm gonna be hugging a toilet.
Right.
Talking about it. How do you guys feel about Sapphire?
Sapphire?
Is it like middle of the road?
I
Bombay,
don't mind
decent.
Sapphire. It's definitely not my go-to.
It's I mean to me that's like a rail gin.
I
Yeah,
think
it's not
that,
my first choice, but it's still like.
I mean I
if
got it.
that's what they've got.
Yeah.
If that's
I
what
know-
they've got, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, we've got 2 gins. It's Tanqueray and Sapphire. I'm like, all right, either one's fine. You know, I'll drink.
the
either one of
last
those.
time that I had
Absolutely.
Bombay Sapphire, our good friend Becky, not our good friend Becky, but my good friend Becky, she had me over, and okay, so she called me and was like, I've got a dirty 30 of Miller Lite, come over. I came over within an hour, and she was like, we got to go to the store because she had already drank it. So we went to the
Gotta love
store.
Beck.
We went to the store and we got another dirty 30. We came back home, we drank that, and then she was like, girl, all I've got is these little, like, you know, the little splits of Bombay Sapphire. And both of us were already like fucked up, so we were like, yeah, let's drink it. All I know is that we drank them, and then suddenly we were trying to make a Christmas tree out of empty boxes of Newport 100 and tape. For like a solid hour, we tried to get this Christmas tree to be a thing.
The beautiful thing about gin is it's a different buzz. It's just like, you know, vodka gives you a different buzz than whiskey does. Gin gives you a different buzz than beer, than wine, and all that stuff. And
Well,
sometimes it's hilarious. And
Well, that's why
fun.
mixing can be so dangerous because
Yeah.
Exactly.
you know you get that, you know, because I mean it does, every alcohol hits you differently, and then you get that combination going.
Yep.
Oof.
I shaved my own head on the fucking European absinthe one time. Like that was a dumb idea.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean,
But I had
absinthe
been-
just by itself will do that to you.
But I had been drinking other stuff, and so I'm mixing it, and it was like, you know, I did like 3 or 4 shots of this absinthe, and ended up cutting my own hair one time.
So actually, there's a good question for you, because I was going to go with I keep a couple bottles of absinthe around because I love doing a green fairy. What's your stunt drink?
What's my
stunt drink?
My stunt drink? Like, let me show you a trick.
Yeah, with
All right,
green fairy.
so-
You got the glass, you got the sugar cube, you've got the absinthe, and then it kind of like all
like
floats.
this big thing.
Yeah. So like, what's your stunt drink when you're trying to be like you're trying to show off a little bit?
Mine's Spanish coffees.
Okay.
Because you got to do the fire, and then if you do the cinnamon into it,
Yeah.
it makes it crackle and all that stuff. Everyone loves watching you make them.
Yeah, that is a good one for making. As far as for like drinking or doing a trick shot in front of my friends. So one time I got a shot of tequila and a lemon, and I took salt and I put it on my thumb like cocaine and snorted the salt.
Gross.
I snorted salt. It burns like it hurts. Like the whole side of my face was on fire. I did the shot, and then
I'm going to trust your judgment. Like that's something I don't feel the need to verify. I believe
squirted
you.
and I squirted the lemon in my eye, and I was like, it's definitely like less painful if you have real cocaine instead of salt, but snorting salt is like a Steve-O kind of thing to do. And it was hilarious, and my face was on fire for an hour, but everybody was like really knocked out that I did it. So yeah.
I have one for you. You do 5 shots of tequila and you make it to the bathroom without pissing your pants. There's a stunt for you.
Nice.
That is a good stunt.
See, I really like Irish car bombs. I force all my friends to do them all the time. They're like my favorite, but it's like
I'm always
about
worried
to
I'm gonna
time
chip a tooth.
travel. I'm sorry?
I'm always worried I'm going to chip a tooth.
Oh, no, see, okay.
Well, I don't dump the shot glass in. I don't drop the shot glass in.
You dump the shot. You
No,
dump
Yeah, I dump the
I
shot.
put mine in, and I'm really careful with it. But the thing is that it's like, I know that if I do an Irish car bomb, I'm probably going to be time traveling.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I do this. You're right. I do. When I'm taking my Irish car bomb, I put my finger over like here's the mouth of
to
it. I
catch
put
it?
my finger
Yeah.
right here so it catches it. But I don't care. I love Irish car bombs, but they always fuck me up every time.
I can attest to that. I've gone and done Irish car bombs with you more than once.
I love them.
They're great. They're fantastic.
What you say,
It's
though,
one of my
about
favorite shots too. And
different
some people
spirit.
don't like them, or some people think they're too much. Whatever. Like, I'm into bear fights. The bear fight is a fun one, man.
Bear fights, nope.
What
Can't.
kind of bear fight?
So a bear fight is an Irish car bomb immediately followed by a Jaeger bomb.
Yep.
Okay, but then there's subgenres of bear fights because you can do a Mexican bear fight and it's Irish car bomb, Jaeger bomb, and a shot of tequila. Or you can do a polar bear fight and that's Irish car bomb, Jaeger bomb, and then you have to slam a Smirnoff Ice.
Wouldn't it be easier to just go to the police station and turn yourself in?
Yeah,
Kind of, yeah.
You know? It's like each spirit's got a different buzz, you know. Spice rum, I'm making good jokes. Whiskey, I'm laughing at good jokes. And tequila, I'm just screaming at my next door neighbor.
Yeah,
Right.
Officer, I just see how this night is going to go. Here are my keys. Can I just put myself in the cell and just keep me for a while? It'll be fine. So yeah.
Go ahead.
My
make
lawyer
that phone
said to
call
give you
now.
this card if I ever met you. So here you go. Just call this guy.
I'm one of those people where like I can make it to the bathroom in time to throw up, and then I just like wash myself off and I come out and I'm like, all right, who's doing another shot? You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty good about cutting myself off and stuff, but you know, if I'm time traveling, I'm time traveling. Call me Mr. Peabody. I will literally just be like all over the place.
Some water in the face, squeegee your shoes, and you're good to go.
I've always been good about like in a public place making it to the bathroom. So one time I was drinking all day long downtown and we ended up at Lager House. So if you've ever been to Lager House, like it's kind of a long bar once you walk in. It's just like a big long rail. It goes all the way back to the pool tables and the bathrooms and the outside. But I'm halfway down the bar and my buddy gets just 4 shots of Jameson. And I'd been drinking all day and I was pretty drunk, but hey, a shot of Jameson, I can do a shot of Jameson. And I threw it back and it was immediately like, nope, we're coming up.
You done thought.
We are coming up. Evacuation.
Everybody out.
It just hit my stomach wrong and I was like, whoa. And I put my hand up over my face and everybody's like, oh. And I ran for the front door because I was like, I couldn't make it to the bathroom and open the door and get in the stall. I just rushed out the front door and there's a garbage can out there and right into the garbage can.
I'm sorry about your alley. Sorry.
It was a partial save. I caught a little bit of it.
Well, but like there are some shots like that where like I'm convinced that like probably half of any bar shot menu were created on a dare, like or at least on a drunken bet. Like the whole like bloody brains thing, no. Like anything that involves anything that involves coagulation, no.
Sure,
Cement mixer, any of that,
yeah.
That's a gag.
Yeah, it's a gag,
Literally,
exactly.
literally.
Like the smoker's cough is Jaeger with mayonnaise in it. So it's just like kind of floating on the top. It's like,
all set.
As much as I love mayonnaise, I'm not drinking that shit. Nope.
I'm not a huge mayonnaise fan. There's certain things that like you just use it with, it's like you're making tuna fish sandwiches, you're making something like that, like just mayo, like not a real big fan of that.
I watched a TikTok recently where a girl just went straight Tito's vodka and then she chased it with ranch dressing, Hidden Valley right out of the. And as disgusting as it is, I was in love. I saw it and I was, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's the one. That's
my heart melter, huh?
my buddy Eddie shot this one across to me and he was like, dude, you got to try this sometime. And I'm like, no. It's an ounce of vodka, an ounce of mayonnaise, 2 dashes of Tabasco, and then some black pepper. And it's called a tapeworm shot.
Yep.
And it looks exactly like a shot glass full of tapeworms. It's
that
horrid.
Is fucking disgusting.
It sounds like a preamble to a bad Bloody Mary.
I will definitely do. I'll do prairie fire shots. I've done those before. You get the hot sauce and a shot of tequila. Prairie fires are good. And I've done a bull shot before where you get like beef bouillon.
Mm-hmm.
And you make yourself some strong beef bouillon and do that with a little bit of whiskey. That's good. Hey kid, you know how to make a bull shot? Like, you know how to make
like
a
ramen
smell?
Yeah, that sounds
like ramen.
Sounds like my Friday night. Whiskey and ramen.
yeah, exactly. Whiskey and ramen juice.
That's delicious.
Nope,
so,
I'm not about that life.
You can keep the shots with mayonnaise or ranch in them. Like, I'm all good with that. Like, no thanks.
You know what, though?
But to each their own.
I love a good Bloody Mary, and I can't do horseradish. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anything bad against it, to each their own, but for me personally, it makes my eyelids sweat and my insides become my outsides. I think a little bit of mayonnaise might be a cooler, you know what I mean? version on the, I think it's worth a try, you know? You never know.
Fair enough.
I'll definitely
Fair enough.
report back when he tries that and let you know what happened.
Well, that sounds like, yeah.
How
We'll
that
do
all
a
plays
Jack
out.
update.
Yeah.
I know that my friends during the whole COVID quarantine did a thing where it was like they took the shot glass and rimmed it with ranch dressing and then dipped it in ranch powder
Okay.
and then filled the glass with chilled cucumber vodka, and they were calling it a veggie dip.
Yeah. Now that I
They
can
said it wasn't bad, but I was
No,
like,
that I
I
can
will
see.
not be trying that. Thank you.
No, if
though.
you
I
if you got the
appreciate it.
flavor of cucumber, I can see how that would work. Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
could see it,
thank
but I don't
you.
feel the need to try
The
it. so.
Tito's Doritos.
The Tito's Doritos.
I would try that one.
Just crushed Doritos
Just
around the
crushed
rim
Doritos.
and then like
Because again,
vodka.
when you
Or
do a
Hornitos.
shot,
Hornitos Doritos. that
Is
would-
it?
when you do a shot and it's just the rim of it, like you can take as much or as little of that flavor as you want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you get a little hint of it by sipping it, but you don't have to like
Pour it from up
lick
here.
the glass. That's another pet peeve of mine. Like if people order
People that don't
lemon
pay
drops,
attention to the rim.
well, people order lemon drops and then they're sitting there like it's not a lollipop. Like
That's why I just sugar the lemon, because I'm just like, I don't want you guys licking the whole
Licking the
side of
glass
this
and stuff.
thing. Just sugar the lemon.
Oh yeah,
That's
especially these days. Could you even imagine? Yeah,
Oh my God, no.
I'm just
You
gonna go
better
ahead.
be
And,
serving my shit in plastic.
I'm gonna go ahead and like just flamethrower those glasses right there. Thanks.
But the whole thing about, Bloody Marys and stuff, it's like, I can't do a Bloody Mary that is heavy on olive juice, but I can definitely do a Bloody Mary that's heavy on pickle juice.
Okay.
So I feel like it,
I agree with that.
it depends on where you go. And like, I've gone to places where people are like, oh my God, you have to try this Bloody Mary. It is so fucking good. And I take one sip and I'm just like, get it as far away from me as possible. Like I
See,
want
I'm-
nothing to do with it.
I'm a little spoiled and like a little prima donna-ish when it comes to Bloody Marys too. Like my whole like if it's a pre-made Bloody Mary, odds are good I'm probably not gonna like it. But like a Bloody Mary bar, like a Dino's or Bobcats or something like that, where like you can like I can take as much or little of their stuff as they want, and then I can doctor the crap out of it. Cool.
Yep.
See, I don't mind like Bloody Marys and stuff. Like Bloody Mary bars are really nice, but I love watching people who don't normally drink Bloody Marys go to a Bloody Mary bar
Oh, for sure.
because they have no clue what they're doing and they always fuck it up every time. I'll
Oh, yeah.
watch them and I'm just like, that's gonna be terrible.
I don't like tomato juice, so I've never been a Bloody Mary drinker. Bloody Mary bars look amazing with all the cool
tomato
stuff.
juice.
Oh my
But,
God,
like, I
I'm
can't-
bathing it.
I don't like tomato juice. I've never liked the taste of raw tomatoes or tomato juice.
He
Don't
buys those
dig it.
giant like gallons of V8 and will drink them like
See, I was
in a
gonna say
day.
like I like tomato juice, no, but like you give me like a V8 or especially the spicy V8. Yep, I'm in.
Oh yeah.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah, I like it straight to, and I'm with you, Remy. I don't like raw tomatoes at all.
Oh, I
Any
love
kind-
tomatoes.
Any kind of cooked down tomato, make it a sauce, make it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pasta sauce, taco sauce, whatever, or like I say, juice. V8, oh my God, I could bake.
I can't do the
So good.
V8s. I've tried it. I just don't like it. Yeah, not a fan. It looks delicious. It looks amazing, but I'm like, I just don't. The flavor doesn't.
I had the most tragic V8 Bloody Mary story that I used to date this girl, and her sister used to doctor her up. She'd never let me watch her, and she'd be throwing Worcestershire and Cortisol, this other, and she never let me saw how she mixed it, and it was the best Bloody Mary I'd ever had in my life.
She's trying to get you to put a ring on it.
I get, you know what, it didn't work out, and here I am. I've never been able to replace that feeling, just
Yeah,
chasing,
exactly.
just chasing
That's
the
why, like,
dragon at this point.
The one we go to one football game every year, and for the tailgate, it's always my job. Like I'm the Bloody Mary guy, and so I bring like all the different V8s. I bring like probably 5 or 6 different vodkas. I bring a whole bunch of other shit. And the sad reality is it's not really a Bloody Mary bar because it just turns into, Dave, you make them really good. Make another one. Can I have?
Yeah,
You need,
It's just
make
a
it
big
one of those
bar.
two.
The
Two.
Bloody Mary servitude.
I like the way you make them, Dave.
Yeah, and suddenly I'm the bartender at Vivio's. That's what I needed. Thanks. That's totally what I need. Now, so they're actually, so I you know what? I'll kind of take it back. Vivio's does a really good they bring it out to your table Bloody Mary. Like that's I'm about it.
What's the place in Detroit? My stepmom was just telling me about this yesterday. But she said that she went to this one place and they literally put like an entire like smoked fish in your Bloody Mary. And like if you order a Bloody Mary, you don't order food because it comes with like a fuck ton of different stuff on it.
That sounds like it. So that sounds like one of the variations that Vivio's might do. Like
it might be Vivio's
because they do their the Big D has like chicken wings and like skewers of bacon and like all kinds of crazy shit piled on top.
I want that. It's like if I can get a Bloody Mary and it comes with a fucking pizza on it and like a goddamn burger and an ice cream on the side or whatever the fuck, like I'm for it. I'm so down. Even if I don't drink the Bloody Mary, somebody will.
Oh yeah, no, Vivio's their Bloody Marys are solid. So in fact, the last time we didn't even go to the game. We just went and we tailgated and we said, screw it, we're not going to spend the money on tickets because, well, A, I'm always passed out by halftime, and B, the Lions suck. So instead of spending the money on tickets, we all just went to Vivio's and just got annihilated on their Bloody Marys. And it's like there's like lunch on top of the Bloody Mary for you. It's perfect.
At least you're not forgetting to eat. That's for sure.
Hey, that's right. They're doing a public service.
I'm guilty of that a lot, and that's how I've always gotten into trouble. It was like, hey, what happened, man? Like, I forgot to eat.
I forgot to eat.
Yeah,
dude,
and then I got drunk, and then I forgot to eat. Like, there's nothing in my stomach but alcohol and just.
I'm a real slut for food, so I never forget to eat. I'm like, I need to eat at least 6 times. So
I'm just checking the timestamp so I can isolate I'm a real slut. That's I'm just kidding.
That's gonna be a drop. That's gonna be a hot drop somewhere.
I'm flashing motherfuckers for sliders, you know.
For real.
Hey, I love
food. I love eating. I will eat something and be thinking about when I'm gonna eat the next time and what I'll be eating. So
I get so excited for like whatever I'm doing. I went to a concert last year and I forgot to eat first and just made the whole night a nightmare. I had a total bummer time. Did not have a good time because I got too wasted and didn't have any food in my stomach. It was like, why didn't I just eat?
Down that hill on an empty stomach? Yeah.
Exactly, and hence time traveling. That's a real thing.
Time traveling, and you know what? I eat so much and I still time travel.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I mean that's the thing. Well, and it still happens. Like, God, I mean, like one of the nights I was at Whiskey in the Jar in Hamtramck. You know, same kind of thing. Just wasn't paying attention, forgot to eat, got busy throughout the day, yada yada yada. Next thing I know, I'm at Whiskey. Next thing you know, here's some shots of Yezi. Next thing you know, here's some old friends showing up. Next thing you know, it's 4:00 in the morning. I'm in a bonfire in their backyard. Hey,
it happens.
It happens.
There's a spectrum, though. There's a spectrum between not eating and eating too much, because you can time travel sober just eating too much. The time flux diabetic or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Where you just an empty Crave case and it's 2021, just looking around, you know.
Oh my gosh, dude, I gotta be honest. That's always the best. So Bob, every time we do a Comic-Con weekend, there's always at least one morning where he like comes down to the booth and he's like, dude, the hell happened last night? I'm like, what? He's like, I woke up this morning and there's like Funyuns all over my bed, and like apparently, like, where did we get a fountain drink? Because there was like a big gulp spilled all over my bed that apparently I was cradling like a baby at some point.
Like, oh, that was filled with sausage gravy. Yeah.
Right.
That's literally me every morning.
Oh,
I wake up in like crumbs, and I'm just like, what was I doing?
It seemed like communism. It looked like such a good idea at the time.
I don't eat in
That's why
bed.
I got a dog to basically just clean up all of my like trail of food. Yeah.
You should have named him
Not a big
Roomba.
fan of eating in the bedroom. I don't know. It's
No, we don't eat in the bedrooms here.
one of those things.
Not
Wow,
often.
I'll just let that slide right
I don't eat in the bedroom, but I still got crumbs in the bed. What's up with that? No, it's too much. Sorry.
You might want to have that looked at. That's what that is. That's right.
Oh.
That's fucked up.
I did actually, like, I was at a driveway drinking party about a week or so ago, and I was like, hey, is everybody hungry? And they were like, yeah. I'm I'm gonna go get a Crave case. Like that sounds like a good idea. It was not a good idea. Like,
Never.
later
Crave
on
case
that
is never a
Morgan
good
Freeman
idea.
voice.
Yeah.
It sounds good at the
turns out.
time.
Yeah.
It was the fact that like
Never
later
again.
on that night I couldn't stop burping and tasting them. It was just like, oh, like it was too early in the night for a Crave case. Like if you
Every
do
time
it
I
and then
eat-
brush your teeth and pass out, it's fine.
Every
But
time I
if you-
eat White Castle, it's like I can taste it for 3 days. I feel like if I sweat, it smells like White Castle.
Yeah.
Like
Real.
Yeah.
it's just like so
yeah,
bad.
it really.
What I've learned is there's an ingredient in there, dehydrated onions, that shuts down everything past here. It
Yeah.
never reaches the
Just like,
stomach and
Right.
beyond. It's the
Right.
next morning, it's all just out this
Yeah.
way.
It's all in
Yeah.
your throat, like
It's
strangling
foul.
you.
Bad.
You're like, you
Yeah.
will enjoy the onions. No, I
No.
don't want the onions.
No,
Yeah, it was
not
actually
enough cheese to bind that.
that was actually one of my claims to fame. We were at this little, and this was like before DoorDash and all that nonsense. We were at a little towny dive bar in Mount Clemens, and like they didn't do food, and everybody was kind of hungry, and so I called an Uber, and got the and then managed to talk the Uber driver into driving through the White Castle drive-through, picking up a Crave
Which
case.
is like a 20-minute endeavor.
At
Oh, yeah.
least.
and
minimum.
picked
Really
up,
nice Uber driver.
Outside
but,
hour,
but,
like
but so
that's-
there was a White Castle between where he was and where we were. So like I wasn't totally rude. And I was like, look, and then I'll tip you. I'll pay for the drive, and then I'll tip you $20. And he was like, all right, cool.
And I'll buy you White Castle.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Throw him a couple sliders.
And oh yeah, and the entire bar thought I was like a magician.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Well spent. Yeah, when you're eating them,
Meanwhile,
they're
I'm
great.
always trying to convince people to go get food, and they're like, no. And I'm just like, okay, but we're getting food, though. So.
But yeah.
So bad. Oh, my God. White Castle. I can't.
Honestly, I'm a much bigger fan of like all the local ones that Michigan has. You got Bates, you've got Braze, you've got
Bates is
Yeah.
my jam.
there's a bunch of like, that's what I'm talking about. Those
Bates
those
and
are
Greens.
at least halfway
You're a man
decent
after my heart.
sliders.
Dropping that
So-
name.
I make actually really good homemade sliders. Like I'll get the little mini buns and get some
Prove
fresh
it.
ground beef.
Yeah. Where's the invite?
Yeah, prove
Yeah,
it.
where's the invite?
The invite is you guys are going to invite me over to your place and I'll cook them over there. How's that?
Okay.
All right, let's do
Sold.
it.
Fair enough.
Let's do it.
Fair enough.
I
This
will
week.
do that.
This week or this
See you
weekend.
in-
Let's do it.
Well, and you can't forget Telway.
Yeah,
Tell
look,
me,
I
yeah.
love
again.
Telway, but being someone who grew up in Farmington Hills, where Bates is, there's
Oh,
two
yeah.
of them, 8 in Middlebelt and one over at 5 in Farmington.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
a
going to kick
Bates
myself.
girl.
I'm going to kick
Greens-
myself if I can't remember the one that's right by my house where I grew up.
Greens is right over there too at 10 Mile and Orchard Lake. Equally as good. I always choose Bates first. Greens is also really good. And then you have
Carter's.
Braze and Telway. They're basically all the same thing, but you got to go with the one you grew up with.
So the one
quite
by
tastes
my
like
house
home.
in Dearborn
Right.
Heights, the one by my house in Dearborn Heights is called Carter's, the little white building that serves
Okay.
sliders. Corner of Southfield
Okay.
and Outer Drive, Pelham area. Carter's is a.
They always have the
halfway
best
decent.
fries. Like
They do.
all those little places always have like the best fries. You can get them extra cooked because I like mine to be super crunchy. I'll be like, give me all the little like super burnt bits. I don't care. I'll take them. They're so good.
Well, and back in the
Crispy
80s when I started going to these places, the one by my house in particular was like everybody was smoking in there, the cook included, like cigarette hanging over the fucking griddle while he's flipping burgers. Like, you guys want a milkshake or anything with that? And you're like, I'm good, man. Like, yes, there was no such
Absolutely.
thing as any kind of health code back then that involved not smoking around the meat.
Kind of reminds me of like when we used to smoke behind the bar.
Yeah.
God,
that was
everyone would
weird.
be smoking in the nightclubs and stuff. We would be smoking
Yep.
right there, right behind the bar. Like,
Absolutely.
have a little shelf up there, smoke really quick, put it down, go serve a drink, go back over, finish your cigarette.
I remember
that shit was
smoking back in the computer
wild.
room.
Yeah.
Huh?
Smoking in the office as well as smoking back in the computer room.
Right.
Because who knew that smoking around computers was going to be a bad thing?
I know I watched that dude on YouTube where it's like, or not YouTube, but like he has a bunch of videos of he like fixes computers and stuff. And it's always like, dude came in, as soon as I smelled the unit, it smelled like cigarettes, open it up, it's just caked. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my
A
God.
film of crap, yeah.
Yeah,
How
the tar
crazy.
and nicotine sticks to flat surfaces no matter where they are.
Right.
and you got little fans going in there and stuff like that, just
Uh-huh.
pulling it all in. Yeah, makes sense to me.
There's a heyday thing I miss. When you'd be at a restaurant and kids were acting up, and then there'd be some grumpy old people just spanking kids, you know what I mean? And it wasn't even their kids. They were just you know what I mean? Those are the good old
Doling
days.
out the discipline. Doling out the
Backhanding
discipline.
other people's children.
Yeah, this is a restaurant, God damn it, you know? Just throwing it out as a good thing.
Hey man, that's the neighborhood I grew up in when I was like, I grew up in an old school neighborhood, and if you acted up at someone else's house, you got your ass kicked there because they knew they had your parents' permission to do it. And then
you're
when you
better
got
for it.
home, you got your ass kicked worse for acting up at somebody else's house.
Right. So you get the double time.
Exactly.
Double whammy.
I can't say I've ever been spanked
And you're
by somebody
better
else's
for it, Dick.
parent. No. I know a couple of girls that I dated whose father wanted to put me through a wall, but that's not exactly the same.
I mean, you know,
I mean, that's
tomato,
high school,
tomato.
right?
What can you say, man? Like, I treated her nice.
That's so funny.
Kids.
Well, listen,
Nothing a
man,
well-placed cigarette burn can't fix, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, right. That's what you get. That's what you get for spilling paint in the garage at my house.
Oh my God. That's too good.
Too much. Too much.
So this has been fun. This has been kind of a whirlwind. Make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We got a local rock superstar. It's going to be on Tales from the Barside. So look out for that.
Yep. And
Tell
the
them where they
following
can
week
reach
we
us and
have
send their
fellow
stories.
podcasters on. So
Heck yeah.
super stoked.
Well, I appreciate you guys for having me.
Of course. We
You
will
know,
always
it's
have you.
always a pleasure seeing you guys, and much love.
We
and
love
rock
having
and
you,
roll.
Jack. You're welcome back anytime.
Absolutely.
And not having you in the Jeffrey Dahmer way either.
I don't want
Right.
to. Yeah, I don't want to cover up little Ron
We're
here.
not into that. Get old Ron.
right.
You stay classy there.
Just one more time for good measure, if you guys have a story that you want to share with us, if you want to let us know about your time working in the bar, hanging out at bars, something funny that happened, something crazy that happened, something wild that you've never fucking thought you would see, we don't care what it is, send us a message via email at barsidetales@gmail.com. We will read it on the air. If you want to remain anonymous, you can do that. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah. We're not gonna.
I
drag
actually
you through
literally
the mud.
just told somebody yesterday to get off their ass and email you a story because I was like,
Good,
Yes.
please.
yeah.
Please. We would love to hear it. So I'll be checking. I see crickets and hear
If
crickets
you
every time
if you don't do it and we know you, we're gonna twist your nipples unless you like that sort of thing, and then we're not gonna twist your
I
nipples.
was about to say, I think
So-
all of my friends would be like, oh, darn.
Right. All right. Well, then don't send us a message and we'll twist your nipples.
Exactly.
Something like that. We will catch you guys next week.
Okay, thank you guys. Love you. Bye.